In today's video, I have visitors, and they go quite quickly. And then I have a brief road trip that takes a lot longer than it should have done, and experience many problems that I really shouldn't have to experience. I also eat some food, but not before talking about food. And in actual fact, you don't see me eating any food, but I do talk about it quite a bit. Whoa! I get a nice glimpse of about 4 MG ZT V8s. And as if that wasn't exciting enough, I also get gifted this wonderful Rover 25 pen. So after a little visit then from a couple of MG people, I'm off on a nice little road trip today to Brighouse. That's it! That's me leaving Brighouse, my way to Swinton, with Project somebody else's car on the back of my truck. That really was quite a place. Lots and lots of rather fabulous MGs in there. Rovers as well, of course. And I'll have to find out what the guys who runs the place, I can get into permission to have a couple of little pictures there. That was fascinating. I mean, my yard's just full of junk, and a couple of good bits as well. In comparison, it's certainly full of junk to that. Last time I was up this way, I picked up a red MG ZT 160, the 1.8 turbo. What a cracking car! That was just before the Project Nigel days, of course, though, so you'll never have got to have seen it. Well, that's my window winder falling onto the floor just there. Currently driving along with my beacon on to just be a bit polite about my low speed. Trying to get up the M62 here. I'm struggling to do 50, and I feel a bit in the way. I'll just put it to 5th and it's slowed back down a bit there. So, just to clarify, I am not, repeat, not going at this speed, especially in a transit. That would be mildly ridiculous. Phew, that's a lot better. Finally into 5th gear, doing about 60 miles per hour. These hills are not really very good for trucks with cars on the back, that's for sure. Well, it's already 1 o'clock. I've not had anything to eat today. That's just not fair, is it? But I am quite badly delayed, and I personally hate being late. If I say I'm going to be somewhere at a particular time, that's when I want to be there. I did say 12 to go and pick this car up, and I was about 15 minutes late because my phone decided it needed to do some sort of systems update and switched itself off while I was driving along. So I didn't know where I was going. I'd never been to this place before. I was relying on the sat-nav. So I had to stop and wait for 10 minutes while it did all this thing. So irritating. Just about to come to my favourite part of this journey at any point, which is the top of Windy Hill. A great big slope down the M62 past Rochdale. The highest motorway point in England. Oh yes, and it's quite steep, and that means that having the load on the back actually works to an advantage because it just speeds you up. I just take my foot off the pedal and it'll just carry on speeding up. It's brilliant. Can't. On my way back now with an empty truck after a successful drop of project somebody else's car. To add to the palaver of being a little bit late in the first place, I made myself even more late by having my phone deciding to reboot itself, as I said previously. But what it also did is decided that the sat-nav vehicle I'd be using wouldn't be a car, but a push bike. And I ended up trying to drive through a park, and I had to do a backing up manoeuvre in a park, which wasn't ideal. So thank you very much, Samsung, for that. And now I'm very, very hungry, so at 2 o'clock, let's see how quickly I can get back to work and then go to the chippy. For some reason, that 2-minute drive back took me half an hour. As the saying goes, I am so hungry I could eat a horse. Although for me, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse while it's still alive, which is just plain cruel. I simply must have this cup of tea first and wrap up this parcel to send off. It's not beer, it's a boot catch. That's better. I just had my dinner. I can't think straight when I'm hungry. And as somewhat of a lateral thinker, that doesn't even make sense to me. But I know it's what's expected, so I do try to think straight. While I was out before, I had to put some diesel in my truck. And this is what I do every single time. See if you do the same thing. You put the nozzle in and you start squirting, and then you check to see whether you're pumping the right stuff in. But I do it every time, and I check. It is. Yes, it is a diesel truck. Yeah, putting diesel in, and I carry on, and then I check it again. And I do the same thing when putting petrol in, and then I do the same thing when it comes to locking the front door. I just have to go back and check it a couple of times. And it's no good just making an assumption that I must have locked it, because that's what you do when you go out the front door. Unless I make a point of deliberately remembering, having a real picture of me locking the front door, I'll be halfway to work and I'll turn around and go back and have another look. That's probably quite normal, but it's infuriating.